Okay, guys. So we're looking today at a particular theme, and that is living things, life processes, and the environment.
Or attainment targets for today, well, for this particular unit, would be to gain an understanding of some life processes in plants and animals and how lifestyle choices impact health and well-being in what? In humans. All right, good. Just checking if you all are there. Or if you're not gonna sleep. So let's go. Objectives. I'll take the first one. Miss Young will take the second. It says here, explain some of the consequences of not having a balanced diet.
Yes, and the second objective says that we are to use appropriate scientific language related to food and health.
All right. So just looking at this objective, could you tell me some of the key concepts that you think would come out of this particular section of the science topic? Anybody? Raise your hand and let's take the responses. Just looking at the objectives, any key terms, key concepts that you think would come out? Any big ideas jump out at you? Anyone?
Sir, can you ask the question again?
Okay, Sharice. I was saying, just looking at the objectives here, are you seeing the slide that we're on? It says objectives. I want to know, what do you think are some of the big ideas that would come out of this particular section of the topic?
Jade is saying obesity, and she's in the chat and she's saying obesity could be one of the key concepts.
Okay, very good. Very good. Anybody else? Shamisha is coming back in now.
She's saying malnutrition as well.
Malnutrition, very good. Anything else?
Sorry, can get fat and cannot manage your...
I'm not hearing you. Go again, Sharice.
You can get overweighted.
You can have become overweight, yes. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right. So let's move on then. So we'll see eventually if these concepts, these words come out in the unit over time. Okay, so let's go. Some of the key vocabulary, and that question was just to see if we would match some of what we have as key vocabulary here with what you were thinking about. Let's go. So we have food group, nutrient, serving, portion. Miss Young, take these from me now.
On the other side, we have obesity, malnutrition, diabetes, scurvy, and rickets.
All right. So these are things that you should have heard of before. So let's think of food group. Anybody ever hear the term food group before? No? All right. What about nutrient?
Yes, sir.
Ever heard of nutrient? What is a nutrient? Ever heard of?
Food group I'm talking about, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Food groups are like fats and oil.
Okay.
Fruit, vegetables, like a energy type or something.
All right. Anybody ever heard of the term obesity before?
Sir, when I get too fat?
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Jade is saying me. If Jade could elaborate, unmute her microphone and probably add a few points. Jade.
Excuse me, miss. I know what is obesity.
Sure. Go ahead.
Obesity obesity is when you're fat or you have a lot of sugar.
Okay. All right. So a few people, Shamisha, I see your hand. Go ahead.
Sir, obesity is when you're overweight.
All right, you're overweight. So these key vocabulary are going to be very important, and we'll see how best we can use them as we go forward. So now, engage. You will be shown a cartoon. Read it quietly, then discuss what you see, what you think, and what you wonder about with a classmate. Understood? So you're going to be shown the cartoon, and when you're shown the cartoon, what's going to happen next? You're going to read it quietly, then you're going to discuss what you see, think, and wonder about with a classmate. Okay? Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Let me see if I can get something done here. Just give me a second. Let me try. Here is the cartoon. Okay? Here's the cartoon. You're going to read it quietly. Read it quietly. And then I'm going to put you into some breakout rooms. You're going to talk about it. Remember what you're going to talk, what you see, what you think, and what you wonder about. Understood? So for the breakout rooms now, we have Demarquis, Jody, and Jade in one room. We have Joel, Georgia, and Miss Young in another. And we have Sharice and Shamisha in one room. Okay?
Yes, sir.
What?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Kalila, did you see those children on the TV last night? They were so what? They were so
Skinny.
skinny. Yes, Sam. And all of them had large what?
Head.
Heads. And what?
Tummies.
They looked almost swollen. What was wrong with them? Were they sick? Somebody read this for me now.
I think it's because they are not eating the right food like we do. What do you think, Mikey?
All right. Well, I am not sure. Is eating the right foods very important? Now, remember what you're going to do. I'm going to go to another room now and another group and talk with those children. But remember, you're going to look at the cartoon. See the cartoon in front of you? Write about what you see, what you think, and what you wonder. Understood?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm going to leave now and go to another group. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
4 speech bubbles
This meeting
to
is
show.
being
All
recorded.
right. 4 speech bubbles and 4 children. So what do you think is going on with the speech bubbles and the children?
So I'm seeing on the screen here the speech bubbles, as Miss was saying before, and you now need to say what you see, what you think, and what you wonder. Were you able to read these bubbles before, the speech bubbles?
Yes, I read them already.
Okay, so the activity is for you to write or think of what do you see.
I see 4 children and I see 4 speech bubbles.
What are they doing?
What do you think they're doing? What do you think they're doing?
I think they're talking to each other.
All right, that's good. So you will see 4 children and you see 4 speech bubbles and you think that they are talking to each other. All right, what do you think they're saying?
Sir, you are
This
back.
meeting is being recorded.
Yes, I'm back. Somebody asked for some help in the room. Tell me what's up.
Excuse me, sir. I'm not seeing the screen.
You're not seeing the screen?
No, sir.
So you guys now need to fill out a table that kind of looks like this. where you say, what do you see, what do you think, and what you wonder. Understood? What do you see, think, and wonder? So you need to have something under each of these when we join up back with the big class, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to go to another group now, all right? All right, so I need some things to fill in here based on, your little breakout session there. What were some of the things that you would be seeing, thinking about, and wondering about? Let me hear a
Yes,
report
sir.
from
I
that
was in a
room.
room with Joel. Joel, could you share what you saw in the cartoon?
I see 4 children.
Okay, so
Yes.
you saw 4 children. Yes.
Second point, Joel. Go ahead.
I see 4 bubbles.
4 speech bubbles, sir.
Okay, 4 speech bubbles. Okay. Did you think about anything, Joel?
Oh, the thing. I think
Yes.
they are talking about nutrition. Talking about malnutrition. Nourishment. Sorry, sir. Malnourishment.
Makes you wonder about what?
Is obesity.
Okay. I'm gonna move on now. You will be shown some questions. Write a 1-sentence answer for each. It says here in the conversation above, that's in the cartoon. What do you think it is meant by the term the right foods? Does it mean eating the right amount, or is it the right type of food? Is either very important? So let's have a few responses to those. 1 sentence. What is meant by the right food? Anybody?
A balanced meal.
Balanced meal. Okay. Interesting.
The food groups.
Okay, maybe they're talking about the food groups. What about eating the right amount? Can we eat the wrong amount of food? Anyone?
No, sir.
Is it important to eat the right amount of food or the right type of food?
Right amount.
Right amount. All right. All right, let's go with that. Now, what are the 6 Caribbean food groups? Let's look at this video and perhaps it will help you to remember these things from grade 5. Next one will be what? Next?
Food from animals.
All right. So what are these staples now? Let's see. They contain what? Carbohydrates, which produce energy used by the muscles and brain. Next group, food from animals. They contain protein, they produce energy, and compounds that are used to repair tissues and build muscles. Next one, legumes and nuts. They provide proteins and carbohydrates, and nuts provide proteins and fats. We move on to fruits. They contain carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, and water. Vegetables contain vitamins, minerals, and water. Fats and oils, they contain fats that provide energy and they help to cushion the skin, bones, and internal organs. So if there was anyone who did not remember from grade 5 what the food groups were, then I'm certain that you would have done so. And here we have a chart I think that this exact chart might be in some classrooms of school, right, Miss?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So if we look at the chart itself, why would the chart be sliced in this way? You notice that it has slices like we would have a pizza and we slice it up.
Yes, sir.
Which one has the largest slice?
Staples.
Which one has the smallest slice?
Fats and oil.
Fats and oils. So could it be that there's a relationship between the food group and the amount of it that we should have? Let's see if we learn anything about that. Now let's go. What is a balanced diet? When I think of a balanced diet, this is what comes to mind, the beam balance. Okay? What do you think of when you think of a balanced diet?
All right, let us see if that person who mentioned to us just now that a calorie is a kind of fat, if the person is accurate. It says a calorie is a measure of the amount of energy food will provide. So when we eat our foods, what do we get from the food? Nutrients, and we get energy as well. So calorie is a measure of the amount of energy that food will provide. It says calories also tell us the amount of energy a person uses while doing various activities. So if we are going to do some exercise, if we're going to wash the dishes, if we're going to walk, if we're going to sleep,
Jog.
all of those, we're going to jump or jog, all of those are activities. And yes, go ahead.
But if you're running at that, you'll burn calories by sweating.
All right. So when we do activities, that has to do, all right. It says calories also tell us the amount of energy a person uses. So if you're jogging or jumping, you're using up what? Your energy. Good. If you're sleeping, you use up energy, don't you?
Yes, miss.
All right. So it all depends on what type of activity you're doing. You either use more energy or
Less.
less. Good. Can continue, sir.
When I was in high school, I had a biology teacher. I guess Miss Young might remember him. His name was Mr. Chambers.
Yes, sir, I do.
And Mr. Chambers would say to us when discussing digestion and nutrients and so on, he would say, bulla. Any of you guys, you young people might not know what bulla is, right?
Yes, sir, I know what is bulla.
Oh, you know what? Very good. So, you know how Jamaicans like to eat bulla and pear. And Mr. Chambers said, if we only knew how much energy there is in one bulla, if all of that energy was to be released one time, it could blow your head off your body. So food contains energy, and the measurement of this energy that is in food is called what? A calorie. So the more calories in food, the more energy that you can get from the food. Understood?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's go now. What is a serving? What is a serving? So here I have, and this is one of the famous Williams sisters. Right? Miss, you know which one this is?
I think that is that Venus?
Yes, this is Venus. In the discussion about food and a serving, is this what we're talking about? Anybody?
Sir, repeat.
Is this what we're talking about? A serving. In lawn tennis, in table tennis, in all of the racket sports, you can have a serve. Is it the same thing as in diets and food and so on?
Sure.
Not sure. It is not. Let's look at what a serving is. A serving size is the recommended amount of food from each food group that you should eat during a meal or snack to give you the nutrients you need. Understood?
Yes, sir.
The serving size is listed on the nutrition facts label on food containers. It is different than a portion of food. A portion of food is the amount of food that you actually eat each time you have a meal or a snack. The portion that you choose to eat could be half a serving, or more. Therefore, you could be eating more than you think. And if you are not active, this would result in getting an excess of calories from food. Understood? So
Yes, sir.
the serving
Yes,
is what
sir.
you should get, but the portion is what you decide to eat.
Get.
Okay? In balanced meals, the servings each day from each food group do not really vary. So let's look at this now. Look at the portion and look at the serving. So here we have somewhat. This look like somewhat noodles, right?
Yes, sir.
Or maybe some people would call it pasta. So this is saying the serving size should be this, the one at the bottom. But who eats that amount of pasta? You probably would give that to your baby brother in grade 1. But if you were going to eat, you would be eating this plate full of pasta, right? When,
Yes, sir.
based on your age, maybe the required serving should be here, the one at the bottom. But it means that if you're eating this portion, you're having more than a serving. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Understood. So again, serving is the amount that you should have, but portion is the amount that you actually eat. So let's go with this now. Let's look at the number of servings that we should have from the various groups. Let's go for fats and fat substitutes. How many servings should we be having? 1 to 3 servings. Food from
1
animals.
to 3.
2 to 4.
2 to 4 servings. Fruits and vegetables.
2 to 4.
2 to 4. Legumes, we should have how many?
2 to 4.
2 to 4. What about staples?
6 to 11.
6 to 11. Dark green leafy vegetables and other vegetables, we should be getting what?
3 to 4.
3 to 4. Now, earlier, when we looked at this, the Caribbean food groups, do you notice that they are what? Sliced in different sizes? So we just read a while ago that we should be having what? 6 to 11 servings of staples a day. So this is the largest number in terms of servings that we should have, and that is represented by the size of the slice. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's go back now. So we need to make sure that we're having our staples, 6 to 11 servings, dark green leafy vegetables and yellow vegetables, 3 to 4. And for everything else, it should be about 2 to 4. But we know for fats and fat substitutes, it's only 1 to 3. So that's the smallest amount. Let's look at this now. Here we have a daily portion sizes for children. So here we have food group, fruits, we have meats and other proteins. So for fruits, a child 1 to 3 years old could get 2 or 3 servings. That would be a quarter cup cooked, frozen or canned, or half a piece of fresh fruit, or a quarter cup of 100% fruit juice. What about children 4 to 6? What they would get a what? a quarter cup of cooked or frozen or canned, a half piece of fresh fruit, or a third cup 100%. All right, and we see it here. For meat, same thing, 2 servings or 1 ounce of meat, fish, chicken or tofu, and a quarter cup of cooked beans. So we have here what the servings that they should have, and the portion. We notice that the portion is what? Being told to us according to their what? Age. So this one, look here, so fruits, quarter cup. Then when you reach 10 years old now, you can start having a what? A half cup of fruits. Okay? Let's go. So serving size versus the portion size. Look, 175 millimeters, and this would give you 2 servings per bottle, and 64 calories. So this energy. But look at the whole bottle. We have 350 milliliters. This is the whole bottle, and we get 128 calories from this. Now, when I go to the tuck shop, do they sell me the 155 millimeter serving? No. They sell me the big bottle, and in the big bottle, I'm getting about what? 2 servings or more. Look at this. Look at this one. This looks like what? Skittles?
Yes, sir. Skittles.
This looks Skittles. The older people would say Smarties. You remember those?
Smarties.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
So this would be 16.5 grams per serving, or 3 servings per box. That gives us what? 78 calories. But when you go, do you only eat 16.5 grams out of the whole here?
No, sir.
No, we eat off the whole 50 gram. Right? Alright, let's look at this one. Pringles. And I see this in class a lot, miss. 25 per serving. 25 grams per serving. But the whole can or tube is 53 grams and has a whopping 257 calories. And guess what? Miss, some people don't eat one of this break time, they eat 2.
Wow.
So you see, the serving size and the portion size are different.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Remember something you said at school? They said with the juice bottles.
Yes.
Paint.
Yes, man. We know about the paint. We soon get to the ingredients. That's coming up in another lesson. All right. So let's go quickly now. The Ministry of Health in Jamaica describes an average person as one who needs 2,200 calories each day. If I need 2,200 and I already eat one of this and get 250 something out of that, you can see how we could easily be taking in what? Too many calories per day. Because it is not unusual for a child to eat one of this for break, 2 of this lunchtime, 1 of this for lessons, and when they're going home, they eat another one. That's over 1,000 calories already. And they don't eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Right? So let's go. The portion sizes of foods, especially those served in restaurants and fast food places, have gotten bigger and bigger over the last 20 years. As a result, many forget or ignore what the actual serving size of particular foods ought to be. In general, the larger the portion of food available, the more people eat. Now, compare the changes in the portions of these foods in figure 6.2 over the 20 years. And here we have 20 years ago. So look at how the burger was. The burger only had 333 calories. But today, the burger is nice and thick. And we have now what? 590 calories. 257 more calories. A slice of pizza back in the day only had 500 calories. Now These slices of pizza now have 850 calories, a whopping 340 more calories. A bottle of drink only had 85 calories, but now the same bottle of drink could have 250 calories. Giving you how many more calories in all? 165.
65 more
So,
calories.
do we need to be more careful about what we eat now? Yes, because we are going to be getting what? Many more calories than the people who were there before us. So here, again, we have the same thing here. See it? The portion sizes. Look at a muffin. I found this one very interesting. The muffin before had only 210 calories. You know, like when the guidance counselors are selling the muffins at break time.
Yes, sir.
You could be getting from somebody's microphone there. Let's keep it together now. Remember, we need 2,200 calories a day. Now, look at a muffin. Here, this muffin. Let us see how many muffins, just off the top of our head, how many of these muffins for 500 calories would we need to supply the daily amount of calories we need? Anybody? Let us round 2,200 to the nearest 1,000. What would that be? Anybody? Come, Matsling, quick.
So repeat.
2,200 calories needed for the average person per day. That is what the Ministry of Health of Jamaica says. The average person needs about 2,200 calories per day. How many muffins would I need to fulfill that requirement for the day? Let's call 2,200. Let's round that to the nearest 1,000. What is 2,200 rounded to the nearest 1,000?
Sir, come in.
Okay, so we can call it 2,000 then. So how many 500 can come out of the 2,000?
4.
How many?
4. 500.
4. Okay, so you mean that I could eat 4 muffins and have the total number of calories I need for the day?
Yeah.
Isn't 4 muffin is not anything to eat off, miss?
No, sir.
Huh? Look
No,
at it.
sir.
Sometimes when Nutri products are being given out, one person eat all 4 bull at one time.
We eat 4 cheese patty.
Okay. So that would mean that we're taking in more than the number of calories that we need. All right. So here, a diet with the right servings from each food group and with the right portions eaten and not exceeded nor reduced each day will help an average person to get the right variety of nutrients needed to do what? To grow, to be healthy, and to provide sufficient calories to give energy. Portions also vary according to the types of nutrients and energy demands that your body has. Now compare how the portions of fruits and meats will vary according to different persons with different ages, body sizes, and levels of activity. All right, and here we have a picture. So the pregnant mother, this lady who is apparently sick, this looks like a grandma, and the girls skipping and the children playing football. So question to the class now. Which person you think in this whole group needs the least amount of energy?
The grandma.
Grandma. Why would grandma need the least amount of energy?
Because
Old.
when a person is sick, your energy is running out. Like the sickness is like sucking the energy.
Let me give you a clue. Think about her energy needs in relation to the type of activities that she would do or
Be-
will be able to do.
because
Think about her energy needs and her daily activities.
Miss, because he said a while ago her energy is running out, and if to be fair, if your energy running out, that means I should give you more energy, not true, Miss?
Exactly.
Oh,
Using less energy.
okay.
Yes, she could be using less energy because she's doing less what?
Less working.
Less
Less
work.
work.
Yes.
Tell me this one. Which one of these people? So, all right. Suppose grandma is at home, right? And grandma lies down like this most of the day, right? Most of the day. And her son comes in, and her son is a construction worker. And you see, when him come home, he eat all 10 dumplings one time. Could he give grandma 10 dumplings to eat too?
No, sir.
No, sir.
What would be wrong with that?
Sir, I don't think that she would have enough energy to eat so much.
No,
No,
man, but
No,
it's not about the energy to eat it. That's not the only thing. Suppose grandma good can eat half a 10 dumpling. Would that be an appropriate serving and portion for grandma?
No,
Why not? Why not?
because she needs a balanced meal. She don't want sauce or dumpling.
Well, it's not just about the sauce of dumpling. What else goes into that consideration? What did I say that the son did again?
eat 10 dumplings.
No, man. For her job. What did I say he did again?
Construction.
Construction. And what grandma doing again? For the most of the day, she's doing what?
Lying down or sleeping.
Okay. All right. Let's think about this now. At school, which one of us as teachers would need to eat more dumpling or get more carbohydrate?
PE teacher.
Myself or Mr. Brown?
Mr. Brown.
Why Mr. Brown?
Because he's older.
He's older.
No, sir. Because he uses his energy every day to train the children at the school.
Okay.
Yes, and you have to
Yes,
So
sir.
so I am in the
That's
class.
track and field.
I am in the classroom and I walk from the front of the class to the back of the class. But Mr. Brown is on the play field with the students in the sun, running around, showing them how to pass the ball properly, taking up the football, showing them all of that. So which of us would need more energy?
Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown would need more energy because of the type of activity that he is doing. All right, I wanted to move now. So here with the children here, they are also going to need energy because they are what? Playing.
This song.
They are playing. Now, what is wrong with this lady here, sir?
She pregnant.
How you know that she's pregnant?
The
Her
big
belly is huge.
Belly, sir, the big belly.
Okay, all right. So she's pregnant. Now, what is special about pregnant women and food now? Tell me that.
Because
they eat a lot of
it's a
Hold on.
Vegetable.
Let me hear from Jade first.
And from Jade and then Jody, sir. I would love to hear
Yes.
from Jody afterwards.
Go ahead.
there's a baby inside and she needs a balanced meal to stay fit and for the baby not to be malnourished.
Malnourished.
Malnourished, sorry.
Okay. All right. Who? Jody.
I think she just exited.
Yes.
Shamisha. Somebody's on a.
Yes, sir. I think that
Go ahead.
sir, she has a lot of craving for food.
She has a lot of craving for food. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else? So can she eat like normal, like she used to eat before she got pregnant? Because Jade said that she just needs to have a balanced diet. Will that work for her? Do pregnant women
No,
eat
sir.
more than normal
really.
or less than normal?
More than normal.
So why they
Than
eat
normal.
more than normal?
Because she has a baby.
So
Baby inside.
so what if she have a baby inside? What that mean?
the baby will have to get more food.
Because the baby needs nutrients.
Oh, so so when the baby is eating, him take out him knife and fork and him when the mother
No,
bite the dumpling. What?
no, sir.
So how it work? I don't understand how it work.
The mother's nutrients is going to be passed down to the baby.
Okay. All right. So as the baby or the fetus develops, the fetus will require all the nutrients so that it can grow as well. Understood? So
Yes, sir.
it has to develop bones and teeth and muscles and hair and skin and toenail and fingernail and all of those things, all the organs. And all of that nutrient must come from the mother. So it's very important for what? For women who are pregnant to make sure that they are properly nourished. Understood? Understood? Yeah. All right. So let's go. In fact, I have heard this, for example. Miss Young, I don't know if you've ever heard this one, where they say that if a pregnant woman does not have enough calcium in her diet, she can end up losing her teeth.
What?
Okay.
Yes. They can end up losing their teeth. Why? Because the developing fetus, when it's making its bones, if it can't get enough calcium from the food, the body begins to take calcium from her bones and teeth to give it to the baby for them to develop properly. All right, so let's quickly wrap up with these bullet points here. In Jamaica, foods are placed in one of 6 food groups, from each of which you get all the nutrients your body needs for energy and healthy living. Good. A balanced diet must provide nutrients from all the how many food groups?
6 food.
In the right amount depending on the nutritional needs of your
Body.
Okay. A serving tells the amount of food you should eat from each food
Group.
It is not the same thing as a portion of
Food.
All right. You get the energy you need from food, and the amount of energy is measured in
Calories.
the amount of calories a person needs each day depends on that person's
Activity.
All right. And I'm going to send this to you so that you can make this particular note in the book. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. And here's a homework activity that I'm gonna drop this in the group as well, because we need you to make this particular thing so that you can have this for next class. Okay. Let me just say it this way. One of the things you could do, you could get a paper plate and you look at you get like from a magazine or newspaper the different types of foods that should go on your plate based on the serving that is necessary for you at your age. Okay, we definitely need that for our next class. So we'll send that.
What if I have it already?
You do it again. So you make something. Just make sure that you have this activity done so that next time we come to class, we're able to share from that. All right. Now, very quickly, we have the quiz there for you to do. And how many questions we have in this, miss?
I believe it's 10.
10 questions, and they are based on what we have done now. So quickly, I'm going to drop the link in the group, and we're going to start a little game. You compete against each other just like yesterday.